Hello, everyone. Welcome. So, as per usual, or if you're new, I will be doing this live Q&A, taking questions from my private community over on Discord. And once I get through those questions, then I'll answer from the chat. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, this first one was someone trying to overcome 3D. They were having emotions come up because they want their dream home, but they just discovered that there was some negative circumstances. I believe it was some mold in the walls, which we all know can be a difficult problem to handle, could be expensive. So it's hard to stay feeling the wish fulfilled that you have your dream home when you see that there's work to be done. So, one thing that they said they did, which I want to take note on, is they took time to feel how they felt. Okay. I've always said what we resist persists. So if you're facing a negative 3D situation, no matter what it is, be sure to honor your feelings, right? Emotions are just energy in motion. It's how you choose to identify those emotions, right? We give the meaning. It's just energy moving through you, but it's up to you if you say this anger or this sadness or this fear is because of so and so. Just honor the feeling by itself, let it move through you, but try not to tie it to anything so that you can just let it pass and then continue when you feel relaxed, continue feeling your wish fulfilled. So, one thing I said to know also is even if you have no idea how things can get better, the higher self, the God part of you, which is not separate from you, it may not be in your center of conscious awareness, but there are infinite ways to solve your problem. But it all depends on your idea of who you are, of how things are, and whether you can stay faithful to that. Can you really trust and know that it's already done, no matter what it looks like? So they said, as much as I tried to relax and meditate, I couldn't do it completely. Went into my dream house in imagination, even managed to get a few images from I am, but the anger of the 3D situation was still there fighting with me in my mind. Notice they said fighting with me, right? It feels like a struggle, it feels like resistance if you're trying to force that feeling to go away. So that's why you want to take time to honor that so you can move through it without identifying it with anything, relating it to anything, just feeling it, honoring it, and letting it pass. So they said they woke up feeling grateful though with I am, but still some unwanted feelings inside. So I noted to recognize that these feelings are just a reaction. They don't control you, okay? Your thoughts, your feelings are a product of your state, right? Your state of consciousness, which is an attitude of mind made up of a body of beliefs. So if you have beliefs within you, maybe including doubt, fear, worry about your situation, you're going to have to recognize that they don't have power unless you give them power. And that's through resistance, through identification with them, dwelling on them. If you can do anything, go get some ice cream or something just to get your mind off of things. Anything you can do to stop dwelling on it, that will help you prevent impressing the subconscious with, undesirable thoughts, feelings, emotions. Okay. Yes. Also, accept the situation as it seems to be. Seems to be, right? It's just an illusion. 3D is a world of shadows. So it may feel very real. It's something that has to be taken care of. It looks like a problem. It just seems to be. It's all a shadow. It's just a projection of, the inner workings of your consciousness. So you can change self, and what seems to be will change. That way you make peace and move forward. This person asked, is it best to visualize only one manifestation or can it be multiple? So I answered saying that I've had success imagining multiple things, but I gave, due time in that meditation before sleep to each one. Okay. So doing the scene, repeating it, adding more sensory vividness each time, more feeling each time, accepting it as real, becoming absorbed in it, right? Not thinking, what am I going to imagine next? Not thinking about what I did during the day, truly giving myself to the scene. Okay. And when I reach that peak of feeling after repetition, then that's when you want to move on to the next one. When you've really saturated yourself in it, then you can move on. And that has worked for me. Um, Another thing I'll mention here that you can do, of course, is as Neville Goddard mentioned, isn't it wonderful? That's just generating within yourself a sense of wonder, sense of peace, joy, whatever it is you like, without giving a reason as to why. Really just generating a sense that everything is wonderful, everything is taken care of, almost like being enlightened, right? Everything is perfect. Even if the world is doing whatever it's doing, everything just feels so perfect right here, right now, without giving reason. If you let your mind give a reason and say, this is why something's perfect, it's perfect because of this thing, you're giving the power that you are away to something. And that's going to, it can hold you back because then you're engaging the logical, rational, reasoning mind, which Neville Goddard said is the interference between you and the infinite power of imagination, which you are. So, yeah, but the main point is if you're doing multiple scenes in the morning, at night, during meditation, whenever, or multiple affirmations, what you want to do is make sure you reach that true sense of mental, emotional, spiritual fulfillment. And that doesn't mean that you're cranking up some unrealistic sense of thrill. Okay. You want to make it realistic, make it natural. So you can feel good, but don't make it something unsustainable, something overly extreme. A lot of people get confused on that. They think, I need to feel it extremely intensely, like a really unbelievable feeling for it to come true. And that can make you feel, at times where you have lower energy, you'll think, oh, maybe it's not working. I'm wasting my time. You don't want to fall into that trap. You want to have faith in yourself. So make it something natural. How would you feel in those maybe lesser energy times? Maybe you're tired, but everything's still taken care of. You still feel good, but there's no extreme force, right? No force, allowing. Okay. This person said, I'm confused on how to practice SATs, which is state akin to sleep. Can you explain? So this is a bit of a long answer, but I think it's very helpful. I said, yes. So SATS stands for state akin to sleep, and it is really a relaxed, meditative, trance like state of mind in which the brain waves are more open to subconscious impression. There are several ways to enter this state of mind, but I enjoy the lob technique because it's very simple. Lob stands for longer out breath. You can do this by sitting or lying down, but if you tend to fall asleep, do it sitting, ideally in a chair with your back away from the back of the chair. So you'll spend 5 to 10 minutes breathing in, let's say for a count of 4, and out for a count of 5, 7, 10, whatever's comfortable. But the key is the longer out breath. When you do that, you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system. It's going to relax the muscles, relax the body. And the more relaxed you are, the more you can become identified and absorbed in imagination. So you do that for 5 to 10 minutes. If the mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath time and time again, dropping the thoughts, whatever they are. If they're important, maybe have a notepad, write them down so you don't forget, and then you can come back and relax about it. Let it go, continue the breath. And then Neville Goddard said, you may feel a feeling like you're floating. Not necessary, but it's a good sign that you're pretty deep in, the trance state. So you'll be in SATs after 5 to 10 minutes. And so from there is where you're going to start doing your affirmations or building your scene around you. If you're doing visualization, you don't want to just jump into a scene. It helps to get a feeling for your energy body. You can put on clothes, tie your shoes, maybe touch your face, right? You want it to be first person present tense, like it's happening now. Then you set your scene, right? Where are you? Are you in a coffee shop? Are you at work? Are you in the car? What are you doing? So you build that. And once you get it all set up, it'll be easier to just let it play out and live the scene so that you're not, focused. So that your attention isn't divided trying to imagine all these different moving parts all at once. When you set it up like that, it's much easier than just diving in. So to touch on affirmations, you want to pick one that implies you already have what you desire. All right. In the stillness of state akin to sleep, repeat it to yourself. feeling into its reality. Okay, that's the key here. Feeling into its reality. You want it to be something you would naturally say or think to yourself if you already had what you want. And it has to imply it's already done. Not that it's going to happen, not that it's happening right this second, but it's already true. It's been done. Okay. And so from there, how would you actually feel if it were true now? And this affirmation was what you were thinking to yourself in the time where it's already finished. Think few days, weeks ahead. Repeat the affirmation, amplifying that feeling and accepting it as reality. When you reach a peak of feeling, satisfaction, and fulfillment, then you can drop it and just enjoy the feeling. Everything is about that feeling. And again, it's not that heightened, extreme sense of emotion. It's just an acceptance, right? Acceptance that it's already done, that you already are the person that has this thing, no matter what it is. Okay. And from here, yeah, dwell in that feeling for at least 30 seconds to a minute. It's going to feel like a long time, but that really is very, very helpful. Staying in that state of consciousness and then carry it with you throughout the day or fall asleep in it if you're doing it at night. But the key is to make it such a habit to feel that, right? Fall in love with it. When you're in love, you think of the person you love all the time. You can't help it. You may be busy, you may be driving, you may be at work, but they pop into your mind and you have that loving feeling. So fall in love with the state of fulfillment and let it come into the mind anywhere, anytime, and make it your dwelling place, right? Where do you reside most often in consciousness? Is you Are you in a consciousness of lack, worry, fear, doubt, impatience, or are you in a consciousness of joyful, loving fulfillment? And that's up to you how it's going to feel and whether you can make that such a habit. But repetition is key, right? The more you do it, you'll find yourself there naturally, right? The state to which you return most often constitutes your dwelling place, and that is what will be fulfilled in your world. All right, moving on. There's a technique where you imagine speaking with someone about your achievements. Can we write this down? And then they started talking about their specific case. But they have different stories basically when they have these conversations. They vary a little bit, but everything is implying fulfillment, which is key. And I said simply, of course, you can write it down. That's scripting. Scripting has proven very helpful for a lot of people. Writing out almost like a journal entry from the perspective that you already have what you want. It's all happening from fulfillment because creation is finished. In imagination, you don't have to wait. You're not trying to make anything happen. Everything is already existing right here, right now. Everything you desire is already yours. You're already the person you want to be right here, right now. So write down your scripting from that perspective. And it'll be great when you can look back once it's realized physically, it's physically manifested. You can say, oh, this is when I wrote this down. Isn't it wonderful? Okay. Here's one about an injury. I had a question about manifesting a fast shoulder injury healing. I do competitive sports and prematurely went back into training and triggered it again. I'm conflicted whether or not I should go back to training as I have an important workshop I don't want to miss out on next week. I think adding more mobility would solve it as that's helped a lot, but I'm also not sure if it's my ego that's talking and I should give it more rest or skip the workshop. Should I also, sorry, should I only focus on feeling good during the workshop and imagine my shoulder being completely fine? I said, I would recommend that yes, you physically rest a bit more while focusing on feeling good and thankful that you are healed now, not in the future. Right now, you're healed. Okay. No matter what it feels like physically, ignore the world of the senses, assume you're healed. Okay. To assume is to claim or to know that something is true without proof, right? No physical proof. You assume it right now. And then I said, at the same time, I suggest you revise the event of the injury so you truly believe it never happened. And same for the re-triggering event because they said they tried to work out too soon and I got hurt again. So rewrite those memories because all time is now. Okay. The past is imagined, the future is imagined. Everything is right here, right now. So it's subject to change. Change how you imagine it to be. Because whether you say it happened physically or not, you're imagining that. You can't bring that here and show it to me. Okay. So go ahead and change it. Reimagine the event. And then also assume that you have been healed. You've always been perfect. You can also imagine doing the workshop thankful and joyful. You are pain free and having a wonderful time. And then I also said, also try to eliminate any limiting beliefs about how quickly you can heal. We have these ideas because we see other people, or maybe you think because of age or anything like that, that it's difficult or that it could take whatever period of time. But those, again, are just beliefs. You get to choose what you believe, and that's what will be true in your world. So, do you want to be healed now? Then allow yourself to free your mind from anything that doesn't imply that you can heal instantaneously. Matter of fact, that you've already been healed. You've always been healed and you never got hurt. That's even stronger. If you can assume that feeling, that is ideal. And then this is just wonderful. Another community member answered them asking how their shoulder is. They manifested for them perfect healing. And they said, "Thank you so much. The pain went away the following day, and I was able to continue my own training throughout the week. The crazy thing is, the intensive workshop got rescheduled, and it was 2 days. Both days got rescheduled, and it's giving them more time to ease back into feeling and healing. And they like to think that it's because they told themselves whatever happens, happens, but also feeling determined to not miss out. So it all worked out. Wonderful. That's excellent. That's how things should work, right? If it's for you, it'll be easy. If you can truly have faith that you have this power to do anything and everything, the world will shift to meet your aim, whatever it is. This person wanted to heal, this person wanted to make the workshop. And so they started feeling better, and the workshop was moved. So they have even more time to solidify their confidence in feeling better. Isn't it wonderful? Okay. Those are the questions from the community here. So now I can go ahead and answer some questions from the chat. What is the promise, as Neville Goddard said? So I don't speak on it much because I haven't really experienced it. It's something that, you could experience it at any point in your life. And he always said, let it be tonight, because it's a wonderful thing. But the promise is a series of spiritual, mystical visions, experiences that happen where you find yourself almost separated from your body, uh, like almost like a OBE, or out of body experience, astral projection, but it's a vision. So you're fully conscious as though you're awake right here, right now. But these scenes are actually scenes that happened in the Bible. And it's basically illustrating through vision, through experience, mystical experience, that you are literally God. You are God. You're the creator of your experience. So we use the law of assumption, as he taught, to correctly pray, to get material things or situations solved in this world. It's a gift that we can use all along the way. But at the end of the day, the whole life experience is nothing more than a play. Everyone comes in on time, they leave on time, they play their part. But when you come to the end, you play the final part, which is Jesus Christ. And so the promise is fulfillment of the promise, that you will know yourself to be God, literally God. And so you know it because one of the main experiences he talks about is, you see a handsome, beautiful young man, you know it to be your son, even more so than he knew his physical son was his son, just in knowing that this child was your son, and that child is David, of biblical fame. And that means you are God. David is the son of God. So it's just mystical experiences proving to you that you are literally Jesus Christ, God, all imagination. So until I have that experience, I won't be able to speak on it, because I'm not going to share anything that I haven't experienced. That's not how I like to do things. So I touch on subjects that I know well, that work for me. And so there will come a time, I'm sure. Do you ever try to meditate and something starts itching, or you remember you have to do something? Yeah, it happens. I mean, don't be afraid to scratch the itch, although it can be a fun experience if you remember that everything is imagined, right? So maybe you could imagine scratching the itch and it goes away. I've done that before. It's up to you, um, how you want to handle it. Or if you remember you have to do something, that's why I say maybe keep a notepad or the notes app on your phone, Sorry, had to return on my light. Close by so you can write it down and take care of it later. If it's something that needs to be done immediately, do it and maybe set the intention, okay, I'll do the meditation later. And there's nothing wrong with that. What should I do if I feel that the manifestation with affirmations is very exhausting? Well, it depends on what you mean by exhausting. If it feels like work, chances are it's not going to work very well for you. And the reason for that is because if you're God, which you are, why would you have to exhaust yourself to use your power? Okay. You've manifested everything you've ever experienced, whether consciously or unconsciously. So why does it have to be work? Why does it have to be force? Why does it have to be exhausting? It doesn't. It can be, if that's your belief. But as Napoleon Hill said, if you believe that hard work is the only way to financial success or any success, really, perish the thought, because then you could just end up working hard when you could have had it easy, right? Can you believe that it can be easy? So maybe find a way to do the affirmations where it's not so intense. If you're doing a million repetitions a day and it's getting exhausting, maybe that's a sign to relax a little bit. You could relax if you had what you desire. So remember, it's all about the feeling. Don't focus too much on the things or on the techniques, right? These are all about you. Who are you that has it? Because you do. So assuming that you have it, knowing, right? Our real belief is tantamount to knowing. Neville Goddard said that. So it's like a knowing that you already have it. So how hard is it now? How much work do you have to do? How exhausted do you have to get? You already have it. So enjoy it. Okay. Any tips or thoughts on not getting caught up on the how desires can happen, or any tips regarding the how? One thing a lot of people like to do is maybe they'll pick one way and they'll say this or better, right? At least being somewhat open. That's usually a pretty good way to do it. But I find that I don't tend to have much difficulty when I think about the how. If I catch my mind thinking about the how, I try to remember that the rational, reasonable portion of the mind is the interference between you and the infinite power. So if you recognize that, just know it's the mind trying to do its thing and maybe even trying to get you to compromise on your goals to make something more realistic or possible. Let that go. Let that go. Focus on something else. Go get some ice cream, whatever you can do, just to let it go because it's a pattern. It may keep coming up. The mind is an unruly animal, but we train it by letting go of what we don't desire, which is obsessing about the how. And one thing you can do is, for me, it helps a lot if things make sense. I was good at math once I learned why things worked. So it has to make sense. And that's true with everything. So when you realize that you, being infinite, one with imagination, you have everything right now. So does it make sense to be thinking about how it could come? No, it doesn't. I'm doing this live. It doesn't make sense for me to think about how I'm going to do a live. I'm doing it. It's done. I don't need to think about how. I can enjoy it, and I am. Thank you for being here. So, what do I think of the 10,000 affirmations challenge? Well, people feel mixed things when I say this, but it seems like something that a person who's very desperate or seeking would try to do. Maybe they don't have a lot of faith in themselves or in the law. So they think, okay, if I make this deal with myself to do 10,000 affirmations, then I'll have it. But if you listen to that sentence, then I'll have it, you're not having. You're not having. You could say it a million times. And of course, repetition impresses the subconscious. That's why you want to be careful what you're repeating in your mind, whether it's from TV or music or anything. But just pick something good and repeat it to yourself, but don't try and say, I'll do 10,000 and then I'll have it. You have it now. Enjoy yourself. Okay? It's all about that feeling. It's all about the assumption. It's all about who you are that has it. So, if that is something that you can tell yourself truly, if I do this 10,000, it will manifest physically. But I already have it. I already have it. So I'm going to enjoy myself all through the 10,000 as though I already do because I do. that can help. But it's up to you. Different things work for different people. Of course, as always, you're your greatest teacher. Just because I'm not a big fan of certain techniques doesn't mean that they won't work for you. You got to see what works best for you. And I always will have you do what works for you over what I say. Okay. No matter who you're listening to, how great they seem to be, test it within yourself. Don't just take their word for it. Okay. Hey, Brendan, what do you think it means when I experience or think of something during the day and then one person, always the same specific person, say a teacher, brings it up? Exactly the same thought. It seems just like synchronicity. These things happen. It's just little signs coming to you, right? That you're the creator of your experience. The same way it's like if you say to yourself, I'm going to see a pink elephant, and then maybe the same day or the next day or within the week, you see a pink elephant. Maybe you remember, maybe you don't, but it's always happening. You're never not manifesting. So if you want to take it as a sign that something's happening, make sure you're not doing it from a state of desiring or needing or hoping that something will happen. Whatever you desire is already done. So it's just synchronicity. It's just another sign, another way of the greater you showing you this focused, individualized consciousness part of you that you're one. There's no separation. There's only one mind. Whether it's you or it seems to be the teacher, there's only one mind. Everyone is you pushed out. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Your world is a reflection of you. If it takes 10,000 or a million people to fulfill your desire, if you hold that assumption, they have to do it. Love your channel. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Hey, Brendan, when we visualize and desire it or fall out of the state, we just visualize again until satisfied. And if we stay in the state, then it will manifest. But if we fall out, just keep doing it. I would say yes. Yes, you want to keep doing it. It's like feeding a hunger, right? You're fulfilling yourself. So that's the main thing. You visualize or affirm or whatever you like to do until satisfied, mentally, emotionally, spiritually satisfied. And again, I repeat this because I don't want people to miss this point. Don't make it some extreme, unbelievable, unattainable, unsustainable feeling. Okay, make it natural. Make it natural. You're going to have to be a normal human being living your life. It doesn't make sense for you to be absolutely ecstatic 24/7 unless that's who you are and who you want to be. That's totally fine. But if you're like me, you know, this is wonderful. It's amazing to have this audience and do this live, but I'm not sitting here like freaking out about it because it's not natural for me. So what's natural for you? And then, of course, coming back to that time and time again. So if you need to visualize again, that's fine. If you can get such a solid, grip or movement into that feeling that you can call upon it, conjure it anywhere without needing affirmation or anything like that, that's great too. But always feed that hunger. If you catch yourself desiring again or falling out of the state, come back into the state. Make it such a habit that it becomes your dwelling place. When is my birthday? I don't know if I should share that, but it's in October. So, um, how can one revise an exam grade after the results have been declared while also manifesting top grades for upcoming exam you're still studying for? So you can always revise just by seeing yourself. I don't know if you get it like by checking online how you got the grade, or maybe you got a physical paper, but you can just imagine receiving it and it's ideal, and then and or talking with someone about the results, sharing in joy with them about it, hearing them congratulate you, but also, to also manifest both the revision and for the future exam. How would you feel if it was all taken care of? How would you feel if you were already top student, nothing to worry about, everything's good? It doesn't mean necessarily that you don't study. I believe it would be very difficult for anyone to have faith that they can do well on an exam if they don't study. I'm not saying that you can't manifest a perfect score without studying, but I'm saying it's all about your belief, right? So, how faithful can you really be to that? Not just being ignorant, saying, no, no, yeah, I can, when you really deep down feel like you can't, versus like knowing, right? Our real belief is tantamount to knowing. So, of course, study, but if you're studying, Do it with confidence. Don't study stressing out about if you'll remember everything or if you're doing it right or any of that. No, that doesn't make sense to feel that way when you already did it perfect. Okay. What if my specific person is going hot and cold for 6 years now? Would you say that you've been hot and cold with the way that your state is? Is your state of consciousness a consistent one of loving appreciation for your relationship, feeling loved, knowing that you have that perfect mutual magical love that you desire? Or are you looking at 3D circumstances and reacting? Reacting is to act again, right? In the same manner that you have in the past. If you want a new experience physically, you have to act differently. You have to act in a new way to get that new experience. So, no matter what looks like hot and cold, what seems to be hot and cold, imagine it how you desire it to be and believe in that. So much so that it doesn't matter what it looks like. And then you'll be free. It won't matter what it seems to be because you're truly fulfilled. You have that ideal partner who is committed, not hot and cold, never will be. It's done. You two are together. How long should you imagine? Um, it could be 3 minutes. It could take a few moments. It's how long does it take for you to accept within yourself that it is done? You don't want to go, do this process and then leave it and then fall right back out of the state by thinking, did I do it enough? Did I imagine enough? Did I get into the feeling enough? Those questions don't make sense if you have what you want right here, right now. You have it. You have it. You have it. Repeat that to yourself if you need to. I have it. I have it. I have it. So that you can get the idea out of your mind that anything else is true. Okay. So it depends. How long does it take for you to really accept and know you have it? There's nothing more to be done. You don't go out and try to make anything happen. What you want to do, what feels natural to do, is the proper action to take. And don't take any action if it doesn't feel easy, effortless, and natural. Okay. A big key word is the word should. If your mind is saying, well, I should do this, but you're imagining something to be fulfilled, there is no should. It would be natural. What you feel like doing is the perfect thing. So, however long it takes for you to really trust that and know that. So, if I want to be healthy, should I repeat what it feels like to be very healthy and then the feeling will come and manifest itself? Well, this depends on you. Can you know how you would feel being healthy right now? Are you aware right now of what that's like, of what that means to you, of how the world would see you, of how you would carry yourself, the energy you would exist in, the state of consciousness you would exist in, your mood throughout the day, how you react or act when you have certain foods or anything like that, or whether it's a pain or an ailment, how you would react to different situations? Are you looking at things saying, I can't do that? Or are you really knowing, right? So it depends. Is an affirmation really strong enough to get you into that feeling? Or can you simply become that one? Who are you that has it? Okay. And you can ask yourself that. Who am I? Who am I? Am I the person that desires, that has to affirm, that has to visualize a million times? Or can I have it right here, right now? Am I the one that has it? You're one with imagination. There's nothing you can't imagine. You have it. Believe in and identify with imagination. What are your thoughts on Grabovoi numbers? I think I've only seen a few of these. Maybe on TikTok, it's like, this is the secret code. It's like 9 numbers or more. And it's like, this is the code to abundance of infinite money. Really, it comes down to what do you believe in? It could be tarot cards, it could be numerology, astrology, any of that. And there's nothing wrong with any of it. It could serve you. But the ultimate thing is your belief, your assumptions, your imagination. So, do you want to believe it? Do you think that number has special power? Or do you want to be the power? Do you want to decide? And so Not knowing that much about these numbers, I would always be in favor of imagining myself, assuming myself to be it, to have it, not needing to focus on some number, trying to believe that that's associated with what I want. I have what I want. You have what you want. That's it. You're handsome. Thank you. Thank you. Very sweet. How do we deal with intrusive negative thoughts? Could this be an assumption that my mind is negative? Therefore, when I say an affirmation, my mind says the opposite. Well, it depends. It could be coming up as a product of your, habitual states, the way you're used to feeling. Or it could be you saw some information, maybe you saw the news. The news is pretty negative, and you reacted. So, then it's kind of dwelling in your mind. But you don't have to worry about negative thoughts. You don't need a perfect mind, okay? You're going to have all kinds of thoughts, feelings, emotions, and that's fine. It's just what are you going to dwell on? What you dwell on impresses the subconscious. What you react to emotionally impresses the subconscious. So if you're having these thoughts and you're getting scared, then you're giving them power. But if you just have them and you let them go, maybe even choose a nicer thought, or just find peace in the moment, focus on the breath, whatever you can to let that thought go, you're perfectly fine. You're always perfectly fine. But if you want something to not show up in your world, just let it out of your mind. Your attention gives life. So take your attention away from it, you're good to go. And also, if you're saying an affirmation and your mind says the opposite, that's a sign that there's some resistance there. So if you've read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, he suggests affirmations that don't say specifically what you want so that no resistance comes up. And it's really a genius idea on his part. But something like, everything is always working out for me. That's a one that people love. It's by Abraham Hicks. Or Dr. Joseph Murphy himself said, by day and by night, I'm being prospered in all my interests. I love that one. I say that one into my water every time I drink water. Or if there are people around, maybe I just say it in my mind. But either way, it's just knowing repetition of that, feeling into it when you say it, even better. But there's no resistance there because you're not saying this thing that I'm resistant to. No, it's just everything is always working out for me. And that's much easier. There's no opposite thought. When we were wronged by others or taken advantage of or used, is it us who manifested the situation? Well, everything in your life is your manifestation. Some people who have more of a negative view on things that happen may say to themselves, "It's my fault." I wouldn't recommend that, but you can definitely change your perspective on it, on how you look at it, the way that you react to the memory, reimagine it completely, find a way to forgive that person. One of the most powerful forgiveness exercises that I got from The Way of the Heart. It's a channeled material. It's supposed to be coming from the spirit of Jeshua, which is one with Jesus. It depends if you believe that was like a physical being or rather just, everything exists in imagination. So whether you believe it or not, this practice was beautiful. It helped me out a lot. So what you do is whatever was done to you, you try and think if there was ever a time in your life where you even thought about doing something similar, or maybe even did something similar to someone else. And doing that, you can then relate to that person, which kind of eliminates like the resistance, and then you can forgive them because it exists within you. You recognize, okay, that same energy that they chose to express exists within me. I can forgive them. And really, it's a selfish thing, not negative selfish, but forgiveness is a good thing for you. It's selfish because you put yourself in this cage, right? You're not allowing yourself to feel any better than that experience felt to you because you're not forgiving them. Forgiving them is taking that cage off of yourself, releasing yourself from that prison so that you're free to feel as good and as lovely as you like to the point where you forget. True forgiveness is forgetting, right? And I've said this before. Neville Goddard said this. To forgive is to give for. To forget is to get for. So you're giving for that lack of love. You're finding the love within yourself for yourself to do the seemingly selfish act of forgiveness, to free yourself to the point where you can get for, you get that love from yourself because you're only ever withholding it from yourself so that you can be whole again. And it may be a difficult, maybe an easy process, but it takes time. But that's the only way you can get all your power back because then you're taking true responsibility, which is just not saying it's your fault, but taking responsibility is just your ability to respond. You change how you respond with forgiveness, with love, then everything works out. Okay. You cannot impress the subconscious mind without feeling. Is this true? Repetition can lead to feeling. So, in that way, repetition by itself can impress the subconscious. But really, it is feeling, belief, assumption. And again, feeling is not just emotion, feeling is like a knowing, it's an acceptance. Okay. It's like a sense of satisfaction. It's like being, literally. Like if you break down believing, it's being and living. So you're not just taking 5, 10, 15 minutes a day to say affirmations and try to feel something and then believe it will happen. No, you're being and living, feeling as the person who has it right here, right now. And that's the feeling that impresses the subconscious. So thank you. Your answer helped me change my mindset. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. All right. 41 minutes. This is pretty good. This is about my time. But I will say, if you want to make sure that you get your questions answered, I always answer from my community first. So in the description here, there should be a link. There's also a code where if you sign up with that code within the next 24 hours, you'll get 50% off membership for life. There's lots of great benefits. If you sign up before the end of the month, you'll get this month's course, which is a 5-day mental diet course. There's even a 6th bonus day. Lots of wonderful practices, perspectives that will help you ideally be all throughout the day, right? Not just techniques, visualizing, affirmations. There's that in there too, but you want to be and live as the person that has it. And this month's free course will help you with that. So thank you very much. And okay, this one's fun. I'll answer this real quick before I go because it is a good question. How come you charge for your services if you can manifest money? Well, the way that I see it is like maybe if I had something else that I loved more and like that would generate money. I love this. I love like nothing more than that. This is it. I like the gym, but I don't care to do it for money. I don't care for any of that. I love this. So I'm putting my time, my effort into this. And so it feels good to get, you know, energy exchange from what I love. Whether you agree with it or don't, that's up to you. But giving is one with receiving. So, I don't think I'm charging anything outrageous. I like to give discounts. I like to help people out. But also, it would be unsustainable, right? I started off doing one-on-ones for free, but it gets difficult because everyone needs help. So you're exchanging energy with these people who, need a lot of help, and it can be a bit draining if you're not getting anything back. So it's sustainable. It's what I love to do, which I think there's nothing wrong with getting paid to do what you love to do. Um, but it's up to you if you believe in that or not. It'd be great to be at such a level where I manifest a gold bar from thin air, but this is satisfying to me. It feels beautiful. It feels wonderful. And I get to connect with you all. All my videos are for free. So, I mean, you have everything you need to succeed in my hours and hours, maybe even like years at this point worth of videos. So it's up to you. If you find it valuable, get it. But I'll never say you need something that I'm providing for, in exchange for money. You don't need anything. Your greatest teacher is yourself. Everything you need to succeed is available for free. It's just if you find it valuable, there you go. But, anyways, hope that answers your question. I love you all very much, and I will see you next time. Take care.